Welcome to the Movers and Shakers podcast, where real students are doing real deals in the world of multifamily real estate. I'm Vince Gethings, the owner of the Wheelwell Profits Academy. Listen in as we dive into the journeys of driven individuals who are turning their dreams into reality. These people are just like you, taking action and making things happen. If you enjoy the show, please like, subscribe, and if you're ready to take action, check us out at wheelwellprofits.com to learn more about our incredible community. Let's get started.
This is Movers and Shakers, where we interview the upcoming generation of Make It Happen multifamily investors to share their story.
Hello, everybody. This is Jake Senziano, host of the Movers and Shakers podcast, here with my co-host, the multifamily millennial, the community director, the guy who gets it done when no one else will, the Jaybird, Josh Rusin. Josh, how's it going?
Jake, doing well, man. Super excited. Today, we actually have three first-time guests on the Movers and Shakers. So I got yourself as a co-host. Gino's actually speaking at a summit. Jake, how are you doing?
Always making it happen, big man. These guys got the MIH in the background. Tell me a little bit about their story.
Oh, man. Today, we got Collin Schwarz and Chris Pomu. So Collin's an investor in Omaha, Nebraska, 34 years old,
Omaha.
Married with a 1-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. Enjoys hanging out with his family, CrossFit, traveling, and real estate. Currently, he's done over 30 deals and has 211 units and does property management as well. Now, Chris, he's a husband and a father whose analytical mindset has driven him to go above and beyond in his career. And as an attorney with a master's degree in negotiation, he's been able to channel his legal background and training in negotiation to the process of becoming a polished investor. Now, he decided to begin his real estate buy and hold business in August of 2017. 278 units later, Chris says what helped him most in his journey was figuring out a process that worked and sticking to it. Welcome, Collin and Chris.
Hey, thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jake.
it.
Guys, I want to ask, how did you meet? That's what I want to get into first. How do you two know each other?
Well, we, Omaha is relatively small as far as the investor community is concerned. So we found ourselves, unfortunately, many times outbidding each other. And I had actually lost a property to Collin, but I didn't know him yet. And so I was driving by that property just to kind of peek in on who was messing up my status. And I walked in, just invited myself into the property, and there was Collin standing there. And
Yeah, so he approaches me, and he's polished in his attorney clothing, and says, "Hey, you're Collin from Bigger Pockets." And I'm like, "Who is this guy walking through my property?" Kind of fast forward, we kept competing over deals, and we realized that rather than competing with each other, it kind of made sense just to start teaming up. So we got into a couple deals together. We got into a package deal of 4 different properties. We were able to wholesale one, and the other 3, which was just 10 units. They were small, kind of. Yeah. They were okay conversions. They were a good starting block. They were a good price, and that's kind of what got us started.
Who got into real estate first?
You were doing some flipping.
I had like 3 or 4 single family homes that I had accumulated over the last 4 years, but like a true madman, I tried swinging the hammer myself every weekend, and I'd finally fill the vacancy in a year. So I had 4 units in 4 years. But I mean, the person who really hit the ground running and started the business and actually killed it was Collin. I hate admitting that, but it's true.
Yeah, so I started in January 1st, 2017, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was working in insurance, hated the 9 to 5, was looking at the people around me like, I can't do this for another 30 years, So read that and pretty much went full bore. Read, as many books as possible, probably a dozen in the first month, started networking, started a meetup group. And April 24th, I closed on my first 3-plex with another partner. And then ever since then, I've had at least 1 property under contract continuously.
Nice.
Wow. Massive action, making it happen at the highest level. So, all right, who had the conversation about joining forces? How did that come? And then why did you guys decide to start scaling up into the multifamily space?
Sounds like
No collusion. We showed up to that package deal that Collin had mentioned, and I had my contractor with me, and I was walking around, kind of get bids, see what I could do. Collin kind of was doing the same thing, and he ended up getting the property, but gave me a call and said, "Hey, you want to team up on this?" And it was a good little first start for us, a small package deal like that. But it wasn't shortly thereafter we started accumulating much larger properties, and we just closed on an 87 unit. So I think that was a good way for us to kind of fill each other out and make sure that we kind of understood the roles we'd each play. I've had many other partners, and I don't know if I'll have a chance to listen to this, but everyone kind of fulfills a role. But this is the first partner I've had who actually is in Omaha and is annoyingly motivated like me. So it was a good match.
Yeah. So Chris is still working his full-time job, and I'm kind of the boots on the ground, doing the property management. I've just hired some full-time guys as well. So that have a lot of relationships with contractors and bringing things in-house to kind of cut expenses. He likes the other side of, talking to insurance people, talking to bankers, kind of doing all that stuff, which I hate to do, all the emailing, inspections, everything like that. So that's kind of how we both figured that we were pretty good partners for each other, kind of opposites, but have the same goal of just buying a lot of real estate, getting financial freedom, but also we have a blast doing it too.
That's true.
So I really look at it as these are business marriages. When you start buying communities with folks and you're partnering up, talk a little bit about why those other business marriages didn't work and the other reasons why yours has been successful. Because I think a lot of people struggle with this and they're very scared of partnering, but multifamily is a team sport. So I want to hear your perspective on this.
I can't say that the other partnerships I have didn't necessarily work. But you're right. Once you find that correct connection, it's endless as far as your opportunities. And so him and I are, as soon as we get a deal under contract, we're already talking about 14 other deals that we can get under contract. And I think, you listen to a lot of podcasts and Audible and whatnot, is the importance of really make sure you understand who your partners are. And when I could circle back around, it's not necessarily other partners didn't work out, but they're kind of a one and done type thing. We found one property, it worked for them. They went on for
the booty call partners.
Yes, they were some, and it was good for me. I just wasn't ready to settle down. And Collin wrote me in, and it'll be so we.
When was that moment that you knew he was the one?
The big hug.
Well, he got down on his knee and proposed.
Yeah, I think that was.
You can tell he's the one with the pretty hair. So yeah,
an official bromance. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was right away with that first deal. Honestly, I mean, when you can take 2 4 units and 2 3 units and purchase them, flip them, refinance them, get all your money back within like 4 or 5 months, you got a good teamwork thing going. So I would say mid 2018.
Yeah, and for me, partnerships have been great, and all of them have added value in some way. Him and I are just very much aligned in that we have no hesitation in going fast and kind of relentlessly. So we're both kind of in that 10th gear that we just keep going. So yeah.
Certainly not conservative. We're always looking for the next deal. That's for sure.
Aggressively making it happen. All right. So you two partner together, start on a small project. Walk me through sort of the next steps and what that looked like. The next deals you guys did, how you found them, what strategy you discussed you want to implement, where you're looking to take the ship.
Yeah. So, it started off with that package, got those repositioned, refinanced those. Then we bought a 4-plex. We were able to refinance that in about 3 months. From there, we had some refinance funds, put that together, bought a 24 unit. So working through that, we're getting pretty close to refinancing that. That was almost a year ago. So we're looking to actually get in, long-term Freddie debt. And then 2 weeks ago, we actually had a pretty big week. We closed on 2 12-plexes one day and an 87 unit the next day. So that we had sold some of our original package, 1031 that into one of those 12 plexes. We've been able to find effective ways to raise capital where the day when we had those 12 plexes, we actually walked away with money at closing. We didn't bring anything. So 87 unit, that worked out well. We did have to bring capital from that.
Oh man.
I know. We'll figure it out next time.
This is just not the unlimited piggy bank here or what? Come on.
I know.
It has been a net gain, though. I mean, it honestly is, and not to throw a cliche at the whole investing rule, but it has honestly been a real life monopoly. There's no quite monopoly game. I mean, we're starting with these smaller packages, these greenhouses, and we've been able to 1031 and just keep rolling the funds over. And I think something we've been successful on, which I'm glad that Collin is the same way with as me, is our goal is to be into these properties for net zero. And that's honestly worked out for every single one of them. Even the one we had to put some dough into a couple weeks ago, when we refinance that in about 10 months, we'll probably make money on that refinance. So if I can keep owning houses for $0, I'm going to try to keep doing it.
There you go.
Let's talk a little about that. So a lot of people say, hey, it can't be done. The market's tight, right? Seller financing or deals that you can refi out right away. They're tougher to find. How are you guys finding these opportunities where you're consistently able to get your money back out very quickly or put little in from the start?
For Collin, I think one of the things that I know what's helped him is he started a meetup. He's getting his name out there. He did quit his W-2 job, so he's able to really hit it hard all day, if you will. But I mean, I think that that really, really helps. On a smaller level, what helped me is I'm not afraid to get out there either. I do have a W-2 job, which kind of stinks, but I'm not afraid to walk into random houses and just bug people like I did with Collin, and that's kind of how we met. So I'd say getting yourself out there, contacting the brokers, contact as many as you can. If you're annoying, you're annoying, but maybe you're the annoying guy with 200 and some units. I really don't care about that. I mean, if you sit back at home and hope that Bigger Pockets sends you an instant message with an 87 unit, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So I started too when I originally started. So I started reaching out to brokers and, I kind of tell them my criteria and, kind of how everybody starts looking for a 9 cap. I want 15% cash on cash return. And they're like, yeah, everybody's looking for that. So I wasn't getting a lot of traction with it. So I pulled a list from List Source. It's where you can pull leads, and I hand wrote 191 letters and I got 6 deals off of that. That helped kind of catapult me. Give me some momentum and also give me some clout with both banks as well as agents and other investors.
Boom. So guys, I want to know how you found the Jake and Gino ecosphere. I know, Chris, you've been in the community for a while. Collin, you definitely came to the VIP last year, but how did you guys find us? What was the benefit there? What attracted you?
Podcasts are helpful for me, my commute into work. Like I said, I'm a W-2, so it's kind of hard to fit that in. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. And as I was doing that single family stuff, nothing against it. It's been fruitful, but certainly not as fruitful as apartments. And it was hard for me to find an outlet to really teach myself strictly the apartment route as far as investing is concerned. Wheelbarrow came up. I'm not fluffing anybody's pillow here, but you guys are a lot of fun to listen to.
Woo!
And
Chris has a crush on you guys, by the way.
There's a little man crush going on. I was a little upset when Josh cut his hair, but it's all good. I was actually at the VIP last year as well. I think you probably didn't notice me because you had better hair than me at that time. You've chopped it off since. But I think one of the best things.
It was a distraction, guys. We had to get rid of it. Okay, it was a distraction. It had to go. So,
but I think that and then you got the entry level as far as getting access to a lot of the education on the Wheelbarrow Profits website, and how easy it is to get a hold of you guys and talk. I actually called Gino a year ago just to kind of get an idea what Wheelbarrow Profits was, and he was more than welcome to kind of fulfill or fill me in on what you guys do. And so I think it's just a great community. Everyone's really open, having fun with it. And I know Collin feels the same way.
Yeah. So what really attracted me to you guys is that I'm in property management as well. You guys are there just rolling up your sleeves and doing the stuff that nobody wants to do, the hard stuff. And that's what I'm attracted to as well. There's lots of guys talking about, the kind of the easy route of real estate, sit back on a beach, and you guys are out there like grinding through, like your story about the 25 unit, the crack den. I mean, that's where you add the value. And so that's really what attracted me to you guys, that you guys have a business model that I really emulate and want to, kind of be like, and you guys are super accessible. I know I've talked to Josh, Gino, Jake, you answered one of my questions the other week, and you guys are just super supportive, and you guys are willing to give honest feedback.
Vertical integration and control, fellas. When you can control the entire process, you're going to really be in it for the long haul. So I totally agree with that.
Guys, I want to know, so obviously you've got massive results. The partnerships worked really well. What's next? Where are you looking to go? Where are we steering the ship next after this?
Right now, as far as I'm concerned, on my side, is to continue to look for larger and larger deals. Collin, as he said, he kind of has a side gig with his, it's his main gig, running the property management and finding deals. But Collin manages the deals that we're a part of together, and we keep getting larger and larger on these deals. And so our goal is to continuously just streamline this process so that we can bring in more and more larger deals. I certainly would not mind sitting back on a beach while this stuff works out. But I think right now is kind of laying the foundation and kind of building the teams. Like Collin said, the right bankers. We have a great relationship with our bank now, and so they don't really ask a lot of questions.
The right community banks for that, right? Just write that.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. No, it's really helped out. So finally, I think the main thing is we haven't talked about when we're going to stop, because I don't think either of us are ever going to stop. And it's just motivating. It's fun to do, and it's been rewarding for us both.
Yeah, you kind of hit these goals. My first goal was I want to get out of my W-2. Well, hit that. Well, then you keep pushing the goalposts. Keep pushing the goalposts. You want to bring in a certain amount of income. Well, then you start looking at, kind of like legacy wealth and, then giving back. And all those things keep pushing the goalpost. And to do that, you need to keep building. You need to build better systems. You need to build better processes. You need to train teams. I want the people that work for me, I want them to be super successful. I want them to start, investing in real estate. I want to get them into deals. I want to, kind of spread that word and help them get to kind of where I am now, and hopefully help them propel past me.
So you're both deal junkies. How are you scaling the business right now? Because I know as you guys are starting to grow, the employees become a thing, and then you're having to put systems in place. How's that going for you guys currently?
So it's, with any businesses, I'm finding out there's plenty of growing pains. I'm not going to say it's easy. I realized I had to hire some people, actually put real systems in place. I couldn't just be Collin the landlord, actually, create a company, create, phone systems, start training the residents as well. We utilize Buildium, getting everybody to online payments, kind of building our brand and how we do our listings. We've hired an office manager so that she can handle a lot of the paperwork as well. Currently I'm looking to hire a full-time maintenance / HVAC individual, just really kind of getting into those. Cause right now it is being fairly scrappy with the current contractors that we have. But really looking at how to reduce our costs, in important areas that can really eat up a lot of the cash flow, and then continue to build on that.
Because I've been exactly where you guys are at right now. And I remember when we're like, oh, we got to bring the HVAC in-house. We got to start taking more of this in-house. And you guys have all of the motivation and the energy. It's education times action equals results. That gets you in this game. But now you're at a point, and I think you're going to start really seeing it. The scale and the systems are going to become ever so more important. So I really, scaling up and EOS, put you guys' time there, because it's going to have a huge return on your future, and really start working on the business, because that's going to give you the ability to grow and grow well and keep your profitability where it is. So I think you guys are on the right track, and really look forward to, seeing you guys evolve and scale this thing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Jake, do you want to ask the guys some of the short answer questions?
I think one thing for me personally that I like to learn about is you guys are hustlers. You're making it happen. What are some habits that you have on a daily or weekly basis that's led to your success up to this point?
I know one of the things that I'm jealous of that Collin can do is he is adamant about his block of time from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And that's when he gets his chance to work out, do some CrossFit. I know that sounds like, he's kind of jacked. Get over it. But the thing about it is that I'm jealous of that, because you can see how important. I know how motivated Collin is on all the stuff that we do, but he still finds time for family, and what's important to him is that 9 to 10 to work out like that. And so I think that one of the more important that's something he puts in his day that kind of is a catalyst for the rest of the day, which is awesome. What I've done, and I know you've heard this before on your podcast, is about a year ago, I did read The Miracle Morning, and I can't say that I've taken full advantage of it by doing it 365 days a year. But to start your day off right, write down some goals, get moving a little bit, especially if you got that W-2 to get to. If you can just take some time for yourself in the morning, it really sets the precedent for the rest of the day. So that's what I've been able to do.
Yeah. And also, I mean, especially starting off, I would try to do 3 to 4 hours of self-education every day. I would nonstop listen to podcasts. I'd stay up all night reading, and, any break I had, I did not take a lunch break with coworkers for that entire year. All I would do was call leads, listen to podcasts, call agents. Now still nonstop podcasts in the car. It's funny. My son, he listens to them all the time too. He's about to turn 4. My wife knows them all now too, because
he's going to enjoy listening to this one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey. Absolutely. So it's just so important to just constantly push that in there. And I remember when I started off, I didn't think I was going to get any deals, and I had so much self-doubt. I'm like, this is stupid. this is another crazy idea. But every morning on the way to the gym before my W-2, I would just put in, wheelbarrow profits, bigger pockets, or an audiobook. And I would just it would be the only thing in my brain. So I had to focus on it. So yeah. And so continuing to do that, and exercise, try to do it.
Mindset is everything when it comes down to it, because this is not rocket science, guys. I totally agree with that. What about some book recommendations? I know you mentioned The Rich Dad. Anything else?
I like Dave Lindahl's Multifamily Millions, Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
More pillow fluffing, but the Wheelbarrow Profit book was great.
Woo! I give it a 10.
It was great. It's not a 20-hour listen, but it breaks it down for people that need to learn more about apartment complexes and kind of that route. I've had a chance to listen to a lot. I'm going through here. Audible is big to me. I don't read anymore, kind of like you, Jake. I listen to Audible. It's the way to go, these drives. The One Thing was kind of important to me, kind of set out what I like to do. I was just talking about, before we got on here, Fake by Robert Kiyosaki. That's a great one. That's the one he just released. I would say that's one of the better books to listen to. And then finally, this is old school, but How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a little outdated, but it's the premise is fantastic. And we do it whether we have read the book or not, is making people feel important because we truly care, building that atmosphere and environment that actually brings the deals to you. And that's really helped my life, whether it's investing or just my own job or my own personal relationships.
Yeah, I would also recommend Shoe Dog as well.
I love the Shoe Dog.
That is just that one I could not stop listening to.
Dude, I got hooked on that thing.
Oh man, it is just like the struggle of entrepreneurs and everything, and what he fights through. You see some guy that's a billionaire, and you think they wake up overnight.
And you think your systems suck, and then you realize Nike was terrible, and then you realize they're taking this person and moving them out to Boston and this and the other thing. Man, I really resonated with that book. You guys are scrappy. I love it. And, we have a lot of folks out there that get stuck in their own heads, and they never are able to get that first deal done and never get started. And most of the time we know folks that have done a lot of deals and not just one. So what's the best tip for someone out there who's stuck in their own head right now? They can't get off the sidelines. What are you going to say to these folks to get them in the game?
So what I would say is self-educate, take action on that, exercise, and write down those goals and stay active. When I first started, I journaled, and that really helped. But you have to put in the time to self-educate. I see so many guys that start that say, well, how do I find a deal? What's a good return on investment? There is all the information in the world out there, but you have to get off your butt and actually do it. And you have to network with people. You have to talk to people. You can't just hide behind, the audio books as well. So networking and education.
Yeah, and along those lines, interviewing people, they're interviewing as well. But I met with 10 to 15 bankers. I met with 5 to 10 CPAs. If I saw somebody speaking at an event or something, I wasn't afraid to approach them afterwards and ask them if I could take them to coffee or just pick their brains. There are so many people that have done this ahead of me that you can learn from, that to think you can just do it yourself and you'll hit a brick wall really quickly. So maintaining that constant education is the most important thing. I don't listen to a lot of music anymore, and I'm okay with that because my car rides are filled with nonstop education, which is just extremely fruitful in my life. So,
Jay Bird, this is some inspiring stuff, man. They're giving me some goosebumps. Why don't you take us home here?
Yeah, so hold on, gentlemen. You dropped some golden nuggets. How can the listeners get a hold of both of you? That's what I want to know.
You can reach out if you guys are on the, Wheelbarrow Profits, Facebook, Instagram.
Now that's not for everybody, okay, guys. That's an exclusive private group, so you can't.
That's true. You got to sign up for the class. That's what I'm telling them. They got to sign up for the class.
It's more than worth your time, though, and you're then surrounded by like-minded individuals on there. So I think that's really important. I'm not afraid to drop my cell phone. I'm sure it's probably. Yeah, I'll drop my cell phone. I'm not afraid of that. And I am now that person that people ask to go take the coffee, and I will gladly volunteer that time. It's all about networking, and I always wish I had somebody who could help me throughout the process. So I'm more than willing to do that. My number is 402-740-6995. I am a full-time attorney, so if I don't answer your phone call right away, it's probably because I'm at work. If I do answer it, it'll be $275 an hour. But
He's
no,
cheap.
I'm joking. But I'm more than willing to help out, and I really appreciate this opportunity today, you guys.
Yeah, and anybody can call me as well, 402-536-0580. Shoot me a text message. I'm always trying to network with everybody. So, yep.
Josh, I think these are the guys when you're in line at Chick-fil-A that you want to be behind because they'll pick up your tab. This is the pay it forward, guys.
Love it. Guys, I want to thank Chris and Collin for being amazing guests on the show and sharing their Movers and Shakers story. If you want to be the next Movers and Shakers guest, email me, josh@jakeandgino.com. If you like the show, please leave us a review. And until next time, let's make it a Movers and Shakers week. See you, everyone. Thank you.